What's up guys, I'm Ox, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about one of my favorite stories ever, Berserk. It's still ongoing today, but there's been various iterations, and if you're here wanting to know about this, well, we're going to dive all the way into it. If you haven't read this first volume, this is going to be very heavily spoilered across all of the inspired works. So if you haven't read that first volume, there's a link down in the description. It'll be your first link. It will take you directly online where you can read this first volume. It's 200 some pages. Take an hour to read or so, but it's incredible. Kentaro Miura has been drawing Berserk since '88, which puts it right about the 3-decade mark. It started with the prototype. He did that for a year, changed a few things, and then it came to be known as Berserk. This one's put out by Dark Horse here in the States, and I believe right now there's 37 volumes as of December 2016. There are 2 anime series, an OVA series, and the manga itself. It's definitely suggested for mature readers, 18 plus. I think the newer anime gets away with a little bit more. We will get into that when we cross that bridge. But definitely, the manga is 18 plus suggested. It is very gore-ish. There's a ton of violence. And when I say violence, I mean first page starts out with a sex scene, so. It doesn't slow down either, like. Violence on top of violence.
That's it.
On top of more violence. Like, it really doesn't slow down at all. It's a very violent series. I've got quite a few benchmarks. Like, you can just see how wicked designed it is.
Let them burn. Kill every last one of them! Burn everything!
These first 3 volumes, Miura is definitely just getting his feet wet, trying to decide what style he wants. We'll get back to this in a sec. But like, it's insane how brutal he gets at points. We'll actually get back to that. So these first 3 volumes, you can really see Miura trying to find his own style. Anything from little like simple drawings all the way to very rendered, like realistic gore-ish type designs. I'll also be sharing some music videos that I found along the way. Feel free to link some other videos, AMVs that you'd like to. But yeah, this book definitely doesn't shy away from the violence. If we're going to start talking crossing over, we'll get to that in a second. One of the coolest things Berserk has going for it is this idea of the story folding upon itself. When you're introduced to the characters, Guts right out of the gate, it's about in the middle of story. It goes for about 3 volumes. They're a lot tighter. Mura's trying to find his style, and by the 4th volume, he evens out, gets really down to brass nuts, and like hits the style perfectly for this golden arc, which is basically the golden age arc is typically what people are going to talk about if they're talking about Berserk. It's the time he was in the Band of the Hawk. The 3 Berserk movies encapsulate it. The anime series from 97, 25 episodes, basically the whole of the golden arc. And you're going to hear about that because that's where everything takes place. Well, most of the foundation work anyway. Guts is a mercenary, starts out as a mercenary, runs into this Band of the Hawk. They more or less recruit him, and then he just becomes a unwieldable force, pretty much, mashing through everything and anything. Just flipping in a couple pages, you're really introduced to Guts. He's the Black Swordsman. This first volume follows him as he's the Black Swordsman, and introduces him as such. One of the best things that he wields as the Black Swordsman is this Dragon Slayer. It's a giant sword. I think if typically Guts would be about 6'5", the sword would probably be easily 6 foot, maybe 6'5" with the handle and whatnot. But it's a huge, huge sword. Much too big to be called a sword. You can see just how big it is on him. Typically you wouldn't be able to wield something so large, but it gets to the point to describe way more about it later in the story, so I'm not going to hinge on it right now. This first volume also introduces you to Puck. He's a little elf that Guts saves in this bar from these bandits. And this is where the 97 series, anime series, starts as well. Black Swordsman walks into this bar, sees something taking place that he wants to do something about, doesn't see anybody else taking action, so he goes ahead, lifts up his sword, and starts cutting people down. The reason he does this is because he wants to get a hold of the Baron that is in control of those lands, and when he does this, they come looking for him and they capture him. The first episode of the Berserk series, the 97 series, is the first chapter of this volume. It shows you meeting this first apostle.
You make me laugh. Shoot all you like. Mortals like you cannot kill me. No human can kill me.
You'll see him a couple times. I'll let you know when he comes up again. But also shows off this brand Introduces you to the God Hand.
Everything is ours. Go away! Griffith.
And this idea of evil. You get a little bit more details on the Dragon Slayer later. Much too big to be called a sword. Massive, thick, heavy, and far too rough. Indeed, it was like a heap of raw iron. Like, the thing is just unwieldy massive. So it's crazy. Last page of the volume, we find a Balet. This comes in play later in the story. It's very important to the lore of Berserk, and I can't wait to tell you more. Miura does an awesome thing where these first pages of the chapters are these fully realized, fully rendered shots, and gives you this very whimsical feel to this very gory story. This first volume has 3 different chapters. Really gets you right into things. Like, it is insane how quick you get into the story. I'm not sure if this first page, if that's an apostle. I think it is. It might just be a demon. But it plays a role later in the story as well. Later in this 3rd chapter, you get introduced to another apostle. It'll follow that apostle for 2 more volumes, and then it'll get back to the Golden Arc. So speaking of the 97 series, when you meet this bandits in this bar, the 97 series actually shows off Colette and Adolf.
Colette! Please, let Colette go. I'm begging you.
Shut up, old man, and mind your own business.
No, Grandpa!
Which is just a young girl, and he saves her life, but more or less does it for the tension to let the Baron know that he's there, he's looking for a fight, and to come get him. The 97 series was very faithful to the manga. Very much scenes like this where he's chopping people in half. You get to meet the Baron. He's eating people. You don't necessarily see him eating body parts in this 97 series, but he is eating. Also shows him finding his armor.
Human food, money. These things are of no use to me. However, I do want to give this man a warm welcome. I love to hear humans scream as they burn, and the sound of cracking bones. I'd love to prepare such festivities for him.
Master, please!
And it goes to the end where Guts takes down this first apostle. That's the first episode of the 97 series.
Did you say a human couldn't kill you?
You!
That brand.
The brand. As long as you bear the brand, your anger, your sadness, your pain, and even your fear, everything is ours.
You're right. We are mortal and fragile. But even if we are tortured or wounded, we'll fight to survive. You should feel the pain we feel and understand. I am the messenger that will deliver you to that pain and understanding.
No! Stop it! Don't kill me!
And what is it you said when those people begged you for mercy?
And I didn't realize this, that right after that ends is the start of the 2016 series. It was started and teased. Here you see Adolf and Colette. They offer the Black Swordsman a ride, and it gets even worse from there. Colette's just trying to help out, and you get this very visceral panel of her getting murdered very quickly. These skeletons rising from they're attracted to Guts' brand that's on his neck, and they want to take his life because he's owed to them. About this, but this was the promo shot used for the 2006 series. The first episode definitely follows this entire little battle. I want to show more about Colette, but she's insane. Turns out these skeletons and shit following Guts make it impossible for him to have friends and whatnot, and then you have this very real moment where Guts knows that he's going to be lonely for a long time, and then you have him walk off, and that's the end of episode 1. In that area is the end of episode 1 of the 2016 series. And then you get into this third apostle of this book, and the 2016 version jumps ahead to the Conviction arc, which actually takes place after the Golden Age arc. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this little review. I will be showing up clips from the series, from AMVs, music videos that have used the manga, have used the anime series. Are going to be down below. Also, you can find the link to volume 2, which I'll be doing next month, and then continuing from there. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you pick up the series. I hope this review, if you haven't read Berserk, gives you enough that you want to read it and you pick up volume 1, because honestly, this is easily the best story I've ever read, and it's only probably 2/3 of the way done yet. Miura is an absolute master when it comes to storytelling, and I've witnessed it following the series for the last 10-15 years. It's insane. It's so good. It's so visceral and violent, but also has these really touching moments like that are worth waiting through the blood and gore to get to. Even these last few chapters he's put out have been the best looking pages I've seen of any comics, any manga for a long time. So go ahead, check out volume 2 down below, leave some comments, critiques, what you liked about this video. Did I give away too much? Did I not give too much? Did you read volume 1? Did you like it? Did you love it? Are you going to be sticking around for volume 2? You'll get to know Casca, the Hellhound. This scene is one of the most real scenes I've ever seen. Casca falling and Guts catching her. Yeah, you could say that I like Berserk a little bit. So I'll check you guys next time. Go read volume 1. If you like these videos, they'll be coming out more regularly. You can get them a week earlier on my Patreon, which I use to help support making my own comic, which gives me insight to Miura's world and what it goes into making this series that he's been making for nearly 3 decades now. There's more details along the way. There's things that they've left out in the manga that I'll be sharing as well. Hopefully I'll encapsulate this all along the way. This entire series started from when Miura was getting bullied in school, and I think that's just such a surreal moment, is that he took this very awful thing that was happening to him in his life, and this, one of the best things that I could possibly describe in my life, was born from that moment. It's a very good metaphor for the entire series of Berserk, so definitely check that out. Read it online if you want. Check out, I know there's some people that post the 97 series here on YouTube. I'll also throw links down below for the 2016 series. I believe it's on Crunchyroll as well. So go check out all these. I'll also be throwing in Wonders at Your Feet. I showed some clips of it earlier.
These are the wonders at your feet.
When I was talking about the manga and some of the pages, he has some really good effects. So go check out that video. I'll throw a link down below, link in the cards, all that good stuff, and I will check you out next time. Go read Berserk. Go read it now.
He has finally come. The Black Swordsman.